My issue was with her. You chimed in, we had words, you took the wheel, and you started going in repeatedly to the point where you were getting so obsessed and so you were snapping so hard and going overboard that I was able to flag your channels down. Because that's how extreme you were doing. See, Colonel Wisdom know how to make her channel flag proof, or should we call that your channel? I picked that one up. Deny that. Or should I say Colonel Wisdom's channel is really your channel? I want to see if you're going to say something about that. Because like I said, I'm ready to ride with y'all. Okay, now you got me. I admit you got me a little bit due to the fact that you know that on my main channels that I was talking about something far more important than YouTube. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for you even approaching me, I would have never known who you were. And I wouldn't even give a damn fuck about Colonel Wisdom, but she kept months on end talking shit about me in the comment section. But she would hop on her videos like she's just this innocent little white girl that does no wrong.
And with that, all I can say is, bravo, bravo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to never disappoint. Thank you for continuing to dig yourself deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into your own lies, your own reworking of history, your own fabrication of facts, your own twisting and your own distorting. I would say your own self-delusion. But see, you're not delusional. You're just slimy. And I am so glad that you gave me this opportunity to actually segue into my, or at least what I hope will be, my final pummel against you. Because you actually addressed some of the issues that I will be addressing in that final upload. Particularly where you stated that I was the one who came after you, that I was the one who started beef with you, that you didn't know anything about me until I started digging into your ass. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for telling that lie. Because that's the one that's going to bury you. I guarantee you. Because as I said, your problem is you're just talk. I back my shit up with documentable evidence and proof. Just as it's expressed here in this ratty ass little comment by your new friend, Boomerang Effect, aka White Supremacy Down. Yes, we know who you are, dude. You're not fooling anybody with your new channel name. We know exactly who you are. But White Supremacy Down, aka the Boomerang Effect, not effect, effect. So stupidiotic you don't even know the difference between the words. But okay, we'll grant you that. But notice what your friend White Supremacy Down / the Boomerang Effect observed about the General. Quote, General Backlash relies heavily on his screen capturing software, unquote. But the only reason I thought this comment of his was of interest, of particular interest, was to show his two-faced hypocrisy. As he closes this paragraph, quote, any info, comments, pictures that people are willing to give me, I will use to the fullest, close quote. So in other words, whenever I rely on gathering my facts and my evidence and fully documenting and organizing everything, that's a big no-no, see? People who defend themselves against trolls aren't supposed to do that. But when you want to be a troll, then it's all well and good and it's gimme, 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 gimme. Anything that you've got. If you got pictures, send them to me. If you got videos, send them to me. If you got any kind of screen capture at all, give it to me. Gimme, 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 gimme. Because I'm a troll, see? And trolls are allowed to do what people who defend themselves aren't allowed to do. So right there, it shows the kind of hypocrites that you have around you. The type of people that you associate with. More evidence that you're nothing but a troll. But since Boomerang Effect, White Supremacy Down, understands the importance of having documentable evidence in his quiver, then you'll understand why I keep coming back at your ass with your own words, both in text form and in audio form. Because as the old saying goes, talk is cheap. Because the General does not play the game of hearsay or I got a good story to tell or rumor and innuendo. I lay it out on the line. I adhere only to facts, and I present facts. Now, whether anybody wants to accept them or not, that's on them. But of course, at this stage in the game, if they continue to refuse to accept the facts, then that just proves that they're nothing but agenda frauds who don't care about the truth. Much like when Jimmy Kimmel pointed out the hypocrisy of Americans when he asked random people on the street, which do you prefer, Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act? And of course, they had every excuse under the book as to why they didn't like Obamacare, why they thought Obamacare was un-American, why they thought it was socialist, and how the Affordable Health Care Act was a so much better program, everything good and sparkly about it, until they got hit with the factual information that, look, the Affordable Health Care Act and Obamacare are the exact same thing. So how can you hate the one and applaud the other one when there is absolutely no difference between them? The only difference is a name. And this is what you agenda frauds do. You take the evidence, you see the evidence for what it is, but you reject the evidence so that you can go and ride on your emotions. So let's address some more of your emotional storytelling that you're doing here in order to gain support or to win favor in your side of this whole cyber beef. So, as I said, we're going to be addressing the who started what, when, and how in my final slam down against your ass. So, that's up and coming. But let's address some of the other things which you think that, ooh, I got him on this again. Now, the first thing that you stated in this upload was that your issue was with Kernel of Wisdom. Finally, I got you to admit what I've been explaining was the truth all along. See, you kept ducking and dodging. Every time I brought it up, you kept trying to twist the story around. You kept trying to rework it. You kept trying to reshape it, trying to talk about Kernel of Wisdom wasn't your target. Kernel of Wisdom wasn't the one that you had issues with. Your whole issue, your whole beef was General Backass. Now that the screws have been tightened, now that you have no wiggle room out of it, now you finally come to acknowledge that yes, your problem all along has been with Kernel of Wisdom, as I had stated from the very get-go. And again, in my final slamfest against you, I'm going to prove that unequivocally, with no ambiguity whatsoever. I'm going to show the entire world exactly how this little stinkfest that you decided to stir up with General Backlash did not pop off until Kernel of Wisdom came on the scene and started spreading some of her own truth out there. And it was not until you realized that I had a solid tag team partner in a black woman that's when you lost your shit with me. Or I should say, with both of us. So finally, thank you for that acknowledgement, but I'm still going to prove it again with your own words and your own interactions with the both of us to prove without any slight doubt whatsoever that your latest words are in fact the truth, that your issue was and has always been with Kernel of Wisdom because of your jealousies and your bitterness towards an intelligent, young, attractive, no drama, no baggage black woman who also happens to be almost white because you've got skin color issues. Come on, admit it. You hate your skin complexion. Because that's the only excuse anybody ever has to try to divide and conquer based upon somebody's skin color, is somebody who has issues with their own acceptance of their own skin color. So you just keep shooting yourself in the foot and not even realizing it. And oh, by the way, Butterfly Spirit, again, listen to this woman. You know, you were already blocked by White Supremacy Down, aka the Boomerang Effect, when he found out that you weren't black. And I told you, expect the same thing from your friend Cunt Liquor 100%. Because she don't like your kind either. And it doesn't matter that you hang on her tampon string, she's going to stab you in the back. And I'm telling you, get ready for it. Next point. You heard it from her mouth, what I've been saying all this time also, that the reason my channels got shut down and got flagged was because of her bitter, jealous, angry ass. Because unlike her girl, I say this with herpes, who actually had more of a spine, who didn't resort to childish temper tantrum throwing. You know, she'd take her swipes and she'd give and she'd get and she'd give and she'd get and she'd give and she'd get until the heat got a little too hot for her, and then she would resort to blackety blackety black black. You know, that was her answer. But she would never go the extra step of actually trying to get somebody's channel flagged down. And here you heard it straight out of the horse's ass's mouth. that she was responsible for getting her little gang of thugs together to actually flag the General's earlier channels down. Yes, that's why I have General Backlash 4 real and General Backlash 5-star. Because if you had any intelligence whatsoever, you would recognize that the inclusion of the numbers in those names are reflective of how many times I've had to replace the channel, which currently is in its 5th incarnation, hence 5-star. And the only reason I still have 4 real is because I suspected that it was going to get shut down too. So before that happened, I established 5-star and had originally intended on shutting down 4 real before anybody else had a chance to shut it down, but then saw the wisdom of actually having it around to keep it as an archive channel, which is exactly the purpose that it's serving. So once again, thank you for finally admitting, though it took you getting backed into a corner, to finally admit that yes, you were responsible. Next point. Regarding the accusation that Kernel of Wisdom's channel is actually my channel and you want to see how I respond to that or see if I will deny that, you listen to my videos. You know every little detail of anything I ever say that comes at your ass. You just so much admitted it in this comment to your friend Pure Butterball Spirit. Or I should say your soon-to-be former friend, because as I said, I know you're sharpening the blade to plunge into her back because she's not a black woman, having the nerve and audacity to speak on black issues, having been married to a black man. But anybody who has followed this thing from any point, they don't even have to go all the way back to the beginning. They can stop in anywhere in the middle and they will hear me repeatedly acknowledge that yes, Kernel of Wisdom's channel is my channel. I designed it, I created it, I established it, I registered it, I made it patently and plainly obvious that I was responsible for that channel's creation. There is nothing to deny. But the fact that I had a hand in the creation and the establishment of that channel does not negate the fact that I do not control that channel. I designed that channel for one specific purpose and one specific purpose only. And that was to present it to Kernel of Wisdom, correction, to present it to B. Valchan with the stipulation that, look, if you want to make videos, since you don't make videos on your B. Valchan channel, and since you speak on a lot of the same issues that I speak upon, and you do so with passion, and you do so with conviction, that I can understand that you don't want to subject your B. Val channel to the kind of raw emotion and the kind of negativity that you will draw as a result of standing the ground that you stand on some of these issues. If I can convince you to be an online voice to actually upload videos on many of the same topics that you actually drop text comments on, which is why I chose her, then I said, I have a channel page set up for you. I want it to be obvious that I took you under my wing and that I want us to be an online partnership, much in the same vein as a Blake Barbie doll / Kryptonite, or a Sergeant Willie Pete / Captain Solo, or a Statuesque One / Humble Queen. Because not only do I like the idea and the concept of using splash screens when uploading commentary videos, but I also like this idea of tag team partnerships. And if you would be willing, I have the channel already designed, set up, and ready for your utilization, which is the exact same thing I did with Wisdom Backlash. Because as I explained, for what is this now, the 4th or 5th time, that way back when I saw how comfortable Kernel of Wisdom was getting with uploading her own videos, I wanted to see if I could take our partnership to the next level by saying, okay, you've got your channel, I've got my channel, we each do our own thing, but how about occasionally we do something together where we hook up a phone line or we figure out some kind of way where we can do joint projects together as a unit, much like Big Boss and the Doll do. So that way, if I've got subscribers that don't know that much about you, this way they might learn a little bit more about you and try to check your channel out, and vice versa. Because again, if you ever notice, if you ever bother to pay attention, we don't have the same subscribers and we don't subscribe to the same channels. I mean, it's just that simple and it's just that easy to determine whether or not I'm controlling this or she's controlling that. Just look at who we interact with. That'll tell you right then and there. But no, you want to be dishonest and disingenuous about it because your feelings get hurt by one or both of us. So you always got to try to do something to deflect away from the fact that you're getting your ass handed to you time and again. So you try to do something to discredit us, and then you think you're going to play this game of gotcha. I know that's your channel. Yes, it is. I've said so from the very beginning. In fact, even before I said anything about it, it was obvious. Because how the hell else is somebody going to design a channel page in the fashion of General Backlash's page and then call it Kernel of Wisdom, and then understanding that a colonel is the next grade below a general, hence an executive officer or XO? The connection is so obvious that Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, and Jose Feliciano would all see it, plain as day. So again, your lame attempt to entrap somebody, again, failed miserably. Because again, you're just an agenda fraud who's trying to smear somebody's character to take the heat off of your ass. Now moving on to the next point, this whole thing about you letting stuff drop. No, you didn't. I kept explaining to you, if you want this to drop, here's the deal. Get rid of that General Backass channel and keep our names out of your mouths. But you want to keep whining and complaining about how we kept coming at you or how we kept bringing your name up, of course, because you kept up a damn diss channel which kept getting trafficked, which you kept interacting with, or which you allowed interaction on, which kept smearing and besmirching our character and our reputation, and we're just supposed to pretend like nothing's happening? Is that what you really believe, what you really expect? So to go back to your point as to, why your boy ain't coming after us, why he doesn't, keep stirring up his pilikia with us, is because when he let it go, we let it go. The only time I even mention ya boy anymore is when I come to the defense of somebody else whose character he's trying to smear and slander. And again, if you pay attention, overwhelmingly it's in defense of black women. The people I supposedly hate so much. And so you might be saying, well, how come you keep mentioning I say this with herpes so much then? How come you still keep throwing her name out there? How come you're not letting her go? She shut her channel down. No, she shut one of her channels down. She still got this Malcolm X thing up there, which I don't have an issue with, except for the fact that she still got this slanderous video up there about, guess who? That's right. And as I said, as long as that's going to be the case, her name is going to remain on my lips. She wants me to stop talking about her, I will gladly shut my mouth and I will deactivate every single one of those uploads that I put in my cyber beef situation. Because she will no longer be relevant. Just as War Fossil is no longer relevant, which is why you never hear me mention him except in these examples. Which is why that shrieking harpy feminist shrew, Alec Niles, doesn't keep getting bitch slapped by me. Because we had our tiff, she stopped talking about me, so I stopped talking about her. But I guarantee you the minute she pipes back up again, I'll be on her ass again. Same situation with Divine Brown and Jade is Back. You see that some of the videos that I drop text comments on are videos that they actually commented on or supported or interacted with the uploader on a regular basis or on some sort of a semi-regular basis. I know of their presence there. And you know what? They know of my presence there too. But if you ever notice, we don't go at each other. Why? Because our beef with each other is over. So they don't say jack about me, I don't say jack about them. We just acknowledge each other's existence and go our separate ways. See, that's why they don't keep getting burned like you keep getting burned. Because they learned that, hey, the way to shut this whole thing down, several people have already said it. The last person you want to come after you is General Backlash. Because you yourself just acknowledged it in this last upload, that I am relentless. I do not allow anybody to slander me or to smear my character in any sort of a way without me coming back up in their face about it. That's just how I roll. But this is precisely why I keep telling everybody you're a masochist. Because the average person who actually had a brain in their heads, who didn't like getting their ass handed to them every time they turned around, would have learned the secret a long time ago. Just stop interacting with this guy, leave his name out of your mouth, don't give him any cause to keep coming after you, and he'll leave you alone. And I've told you this at least a dozen times already. And oh, thank you for telling that other lie too about how your main channels were for more serious stuff than getting into beefs and everything. I'll be addressing that too later on in the final video smackdown on your ass. Because that's another lie you just told. That you're expecting that, people just forgot about it. Or the new people that are coming in who are wondering what this is all about. You're counting on the fact that they don't know. Well, I'm going to make sure that they do know. As I said, I'm going to be going back to the very genesis of this whole thing, and I'm going to show the entire world exactly who started what, when they started it, how they started it, and why they started it. And when I say they, I'm of course talking about you. Or you and Love, I should say. But since Love got enough sense about herself where she kind of like dropped off the radar screen, or even if she's around, we hadn't heard smack from her lately. So now all the focus is on you. And it would be on your #1 gal, Pure Butterball Spirit also, except at this point, we're really starting to suspect that that girl's just bipolar. And that maybe she really does have some sort of a mental issue that just keeps her in that, I don't know, but she's just a different case, so. But then again, you're going to stab her in the back eventually anyway, so I don't even know why I'm stewing about her. So, you know, you'll be handling that for us soon enough. Just like you do everyone else that hangs on your team for a while, then suddenly starts getting a brain about themselves and starts recognizing you for the fraud that you are. So it's only a matter of time before you plunge the dagger into her back. I just hope that she remembers that I tried to warn her about it once it does happen. Now, on to the final point, at least as far as it relates to this upload. This whole idea that, well, if you left your boy alone because Kernel of Wisdom pretty much handled herself effectively against him, then why didn't you do the same thing with me? Because, as I explained on numerous occasions, you didn't just come after Kernel of Wisdom, you came after us both simultaneously. And from that point, I left just one comment in defense of the both of us, which was where I supposedly came to her defense, which of course I'll acknowledge, yes, I came to her defense in that instance, but it was not just coming to her defense, it was coming to both of our defenses based upon some sneaky ass swipe that you tried to take, and then you wanted to try to backpedal away from it, trying to pretend like that's not what I meant. And I'll be pulling that up too, by the way. But I had left just that one singular comment, and then I was going to step back into the background again and just let you girls fight it out. Because as I said, she was handing you your ass. She didn't need any help from me. But see, you wouldn't allow me to drop just one little comment and then go on about my merry business. Nope, you had to go apeshit ballistic at that point. And then you really had to let your ass show. And as a result of that, because of how you reacted at that time, it's going to bury your ass. Because I'm going to be highlighting that as the flashpoint as to when this whole cyber beef really took off between you and us. And I'm going to show the entire world how you are a very much different person, at least with the general anyway. Because you had some issues with International Booby where y'all kind of had your little beef. But see, you came at the general in a whole radically, completely different way up until that point. And it wasn't until that point that you really started to show your ass off with the general. And when I get it all compiled and formatted and structured and uploaded for the entire world to see, the only thing I can suggest at that point is I hope you already have your gravestones carved out and you already have your grave dug out. Because as I've been saying, you don't need me to bury you, because everything that you have said and done throughout this whole thing has been nothing but you burying yourself. And no amount of hit and run tactics going off onto random people's channels following my activity just so that you can stir up a new beef and take a topic away from where it's originally intended on going, just so that you can keep trying to play an innocent victim and then corrupt somebody else's channel. That crap ain't gonna work no more. Because after this is said and done and you don't hide your face away in shame, then I've just got my confirmation you're just nothing but a shit-starting masochist who just wants to keep beef and drama alive. But see, this time, you're not going to be able to get away with the, oh, I forgot, it was so long ago, I forgot routine. And even if you do try, I'm still going to remind you. Because everything that I have in my arsenal, which I told you, you didn't know what I had. But since you want to go and research history now, let me show you how a historian really does it. Because see, you could have avoided all this. You could have just let it drop at the moments where I said let this thing drop. Or you could have just shut it down completely by just doing what I asked of you. But no, you wanted to keep it going. Then you wanted to act like, well, hey, two can play that game. The same tactics he's using against me, I'll just use against him and her. And I'm like, okay, if that's how you want to do it, fine. Let me show you how it's really done. So I hope you got your last will and testament already written out and, got all your beneficiaries named and all that good stuff. Because as I said, you just gave me the go-ahead to bury your ass. And you are the one who supplied me with all the tools to do it. As I said, I do not open my mouth unless I got facts and evidence to back me up. And trust me, you are going to rue the day that you decided to come at General Backlash all cockeyed and slideways. Citizens of the cyber world, stand by for the conclusion.